Good morning, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Okay, this is part 3 of the series on the do-it-yourself Haversack kit. We began with cordage, and we have talked of a couple of things like the long line and the bushcraft zip tie and the cinch cord. There will be other components like the twist tie, the soft shackle, the jungle knots. Those will be added a little bit later in this series. But for right now, we have established we've got some cordage. So now let's talk about how we're going to carry that cordage in the field, because it's kind of up to you, but there are certain better choices. Now let's start with the bottom of the barrel, the cheapest thing you can start with right now, and that is a quart Ziploc bag. I know, not terrible glamorous, but it works really well for this because you're going to put your cordage in here, squeeze air out of it, zip it closed, roll it up, and then stick it into the haversack. It's also easy to pull it out of here and utilize it for what you're doing and return it. You can see the components in it and realize, oh, there's what I'm looking for. And these quart freezer bags that's got the flat bottom on it, like this one, are actually pretty good for that. One step up from this is going to be some sort of canvas bag or something. Now, we will probably in a future video, I'll show you how to actually make one of these bags. We're going to be making other components, but for right now, understand that it's a real simple piece of material. It's been folded in half, sewn, and it's got a drawstring in it. Okay? These can work well. You can also use recycled military pouches, both the type that carried, magazines, just depends on what you're wanting to carry, or the old compass pouch. I used one of these for many years for a cordage set. How about a leather bag? Now you can buy these off Amazon and offline and things like that. They have certain advantages. One, they're very tough. Disadvantage, once they get wet, they take a long time to dry out. Now, if the bag was going to be empty in camp, you could use it for a hot hand to grab pot handles and things. But I used these a lot in living history back in the day. And although they're historically accurate and etc., they're a little difficult to work with because you got to pry them open. They don't easily slide open. They're a little more of a hassle. How about some cinch top accessory bag like for steaks that you already have? That'll work. My friend Jay Hercules at possum.com makes bags of different sizes that those could be utilized as well. And as you can see, he makes several different sizes. So that's something you might want to consider. And in here, I have got the cordage we've already made up in here. So, and last but not least, at Walmart you can get these roll top pouches that are waterproof and therefore could be rolled down and utilized like that, and then you come around and click it. These are readily available. But, and this is like the thing I've already said, this is something I repurposed. It was a square panel that had Velcro all the way around it. And so what I did was I just folded the two sides, sewed it, and made the Velcro come over and hook to itself and made a pouch. How big a pouch? You have a haversack of a given size. Your cordage bag should not take up half that bag. It should not take up a quarter of that bag. We want to carry enough cordage to be effective in the field, but not so much that it becomes a burden to pack it all into one bag. I am a fan of a hand size, one hand size bag. Now let me show you that. On my haversack, as I've demonstrated many times, I reach in. That's the size of my pouch. Is it a little bit of an overkill? Yes. But then again, I do demonstrations. I'm a teacher. I'm going to events. I'm carrying more cordage than the average bear, because I get to an event, I may have to put something together. Somebody wanted to see how to lash together a cooking tripod, or can we make an elevated bed, or can we do this, or how would I hook that, you know, geared, etc. And so I have to bring out my cordage pouch and demonstrate. So I carry more than the average bear on average, okay? But you can see relative sizes. Something like that maybe would be pretty close. But something like this is really overkill, too big. And this here is definitely, you know, that's a haversack in itself. You want to carry enough to be effective. And like I've said, to this point, you need a long line. You need probably 6 to 8 of the zip ties and 2 of the cinch cords. And then say 25 feet of the number 36 bank line coiled up to carry with you. So you got some bank line that you can cut. And we'll deal with cut cordage a little bit later, and cordage that we're going to utilize and not reclaim. That will be coming up in an upcoming episode. But for right now, understand that it does not need to be a huge bag. In fact, it should not be a huge bag, because it's got to be something that's got to go into the haversack and still leave room for a fire kit, a navigation, other things that's going to go in there. And so we need to be very space focused whenever we put this stuff together. So, for your homework, find something to put your cordage in. And I didn't bring one, but how about an old sock? As I've demonstrated, that odd sock that gets left out of the dryer, you can't find the mate to. You only got one of these. You used to have a pair, and where did the other one go? The dryer ate it. How about that sock? You know, I've used a sock before many times as a pouch. Why not? It folds over, stuff don't fall out of it easy. It's easy to run your hand in and out. Hey, find something to carry your gear in. Now, in the next video, after this one, we're going to ramp up the DIY, and we're going to create from scratch a zippered pouch. Not this exact pouch, but similar in size and design to this pouch. Okay? I'm going to take you step by step with how to build a pattern, how to lay that pattern out on material of your choosing, cut it out, how to sew it, how to put the zipper into it. And I will demonstrate how to hand sew it, as well as those of you that's just going to get someone to machine sew it, or you're going to machine sew it. Okay? I'll show both ways so you understand what you're doing. But in the next video, we're going to be making a pouch for your cordage. After that, we will probably go on to a fire kit, and we will create a fire kit. And then somewhere in the not too distant future, we're going to be creating a haversack from scratch. I'm going to show you how to lay out a pattern and how to cut it out and sew your own haversack. Now, we're not going to use the Red Hawk design. What we're going to use is an old design of mine that I never even showed on camera. It was the one in 2008, when I started doing these videos, I was using for a haversack in the field. And I called it a Nomad design. But I will show you step by step how to build that design. And so you can make your own haversack. So, you got something to look forward to. The bottom line is that there should be enough cordage for your average need, plus a little, not a lot, but a little. It should be compact enough that it can go in and out of a haversack without a lot of fuss, and not be of some sort of difficulty working with to get it in and out of. We're here to smooth it, not rough it. If you're having to rough it, you're doing it wrong. It should be something you can just open up, click, pull it out, seal, and utilize your piece of cord. Reclaim it when you're done, open, drop it in, seal, and put it back in the haversack. That's the secret to smoothing it. Each little step, you take out all the problems. Hope you've enjoyed this video, guys. There will be more coming very shortly. And like I said, in the next video, we're going to be making from scratch your own cordage pouch. Till next time, guys, I'm Blackie, wishing you safe journeys Have a great day, guys.